Hey guys, I'm Joanne with Quiet Waters Farm and Craft. Today we are making us some pepper jelly. I have never ever made this before, but it looked really good and I've had a couple people ask if I've ever made it before, so I thought I would give it a whirl. So please stay tuned and I hope that you like this video. So for our ingredients for our pepper jelly, we're going to be using a bunch of different peppers. You know, it's really sad to sit here and look at my little jalapenos. They did not get super huge this year, so I'm actually going to be using about 3 or 4 to 1 decent size jalapeno. But I've also got a different variety of peppers. I got the green, the orange, the yellow, the red, and then this one I thought was really neat. It's yellow and red mixed, so I don't know what that's called. It was just a variety mix. And then we're going to be using some real fruit pectin, and we're only going to be using about a packet, so about 6 tablespoons, so I just kind of get it in a little bit bulkier size here. So we're going to be using 6 tablespoons of the pectin, and then we're going to need 5 cups of sugar. So I'm going to get all these diced up real quick, and then I will meet you back. So all of our peppers got cut up, and look how gorgeous my bowl looks. It just looks so cool. I just love it. After I cut them up, it was about 1.5 cups of each of these peppers, and then my jalapenos was about 1/2 cup. So I don't want too much spice, but a good enough spice with the jalapenos. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to zoom in here for you. Add to my skillet here. So we're going to get all of our peppers in here. And I have lost my spatula. There it is. We're going to get all of our peppers in here and start getting them cooking so they can get soft and we can start on our next process. Oh, that is just so beautiful. And getting ready for fall. These are all these pretty colors. Oh. Alright. So, we are going to turn this on medium heat to get it started till it starts sizzling. And then we'll probably turn it down to a medium low and let it simmer. Right before I get the sugar and the pectin in here, I'll probably turn it up higher because we are going to want it to boil. Okay, so when this starts sizzling and we're going to add our other stuff, I will meet you back. So our peppers have started to sizzle and we've got some good juices going in here. I did forget to add one ingredient to my list, which would be 1 cup of apple cider vinegar. So I'm going to pour that in there now. And then we're going to add our 6 cups of fruit pectin in there. And what we're going to do is we're just going to stir this. And we're actually going to stir it frequently. We're going to turn our heat up to high. And we're going to continue to stir this. So that way nothing burns and everything's getting mixed up. So we have to have a rolling boil. When we get the rolling boil, then we can start adding our sugar. So I'm just going to continue to keep stirring this, and when I get a rolling boil, I'll come back on and show you what that looks like. Alright, so our pot is finally started to boil. Now it's probably been cooking about 5 to 7 minutes, and we are almost to a rolling boil. Now somebody's probably like, well, what the heck is a rolling boil? So basically, when you are turning your spoon or spatula or whatever you got in here, you want to make sure that this is still boiling pretty good, and we are almost there. And it's just cooking everything through and boiling. You know, you're going to have all these bubbles that's going to start foaming up, and that's what you want to see. And we're pretty much to that stage now. I just want to cook it just a few more minutes, but I kind of just wanted to show you what you're wanting to look for. You're going to want to see bubbles on the side, and it's gonna boil constantly while you're stirring it. So now what we're gonna do is we're going to turn off the heat, and we're actually gonna take this off the stove while we put our sugar in here, okay? Now I'm only gonna put 1 cup of sugar in here at a time, or a little bit, around a cup at a time. Get that stirred in there till it's dissolved, and then add another cup. So let me pause this a minute, and I'm going to move over to the counter. Alright, we're over here to the counter. This is still pretty hot. Sorry, I had to dig out my spatula because I kind of moved it and it just fell right in. So we're going to add some of our sugar, and we're going to get this stirred up. Once it gets dissolved, we're just going to keep adding more sugar. Get that stirred up. Some more sugar in there, and this is kind of a fast process, so you just got to keep working with it. It smells so good. All these different peppers in here. Oh, it just smells great. Almost done. Got one more little bit in our bowl here after we get this all stirred up. Okay. Looks like a giant glossy blob of mini peppers. Oh, it looks so good. And it's already started to darken and starting to thicken up, and that's because of your pectin and all your sugar going in there. Alright, so now we're going to go back over to the stove, and we want to get our pot back up to a rolling boil again. Okay? So I got it back on the stove, and I got the heat on there. You want to continuously stir this, because even though it looks like all the sugar's dissolved, a lot of it has fallen to the bottom. So we're just going to keep stirring this because we don't want that sugar to burn or our peppers. So, and you also want to scrape your sides because there's a lot of sugar that gets built up on the sides. So I'm just going to keep continuously stirring this. Once it comes up to a rolling boil, like before we added the sugar, I'll bring you back and show you what that looks like. So our pot has come up to a rolling boil. And you can see all around the corners here, it's starting to get foamy. So this means that we're done cooking this stuff. Alright. You can really smell the apple cider vinegar. And all the peppers, it just smells really wonderful. And it's gotten darker in color. Just turned out really great. So I'm going to turn this off the stove. I'm going to get this over to the counter, get our jars ready, so that way we can get this jarred up and in our water bath canner. So stay tuned for just a few minutes. Alright, we are on the counter, and I am going to be using 1/2 pint jars for my jelly. I just got them all sanitized, so we're going to get to dipping and see just how many we get. This is very, very sticky, so I would recommend putting a towel down so that way you don't get it all over your counters, because it truly is sticky. Very, very sticky. I'm giving it about 1 inch of headspace up there. So I'm going to get the rest of these jars filled up, and I'll meet you back when I get them all done. So we got 8 1/2 pint jars, and then I even have 1 4-ounce jelly jar that topped it all off. So I'm going to get the rims wiped off of this with white vinegar, get them the lids on, and I'm going to get my water bath canner out and get it in there so that way we can get her cooking a little bit more. So I'm going to get this ready, and before I get it in the water bath canner, I'll come back on. So give me just a few minutes. So I've got all my jars and putting the last jar in the bath canner. You're going to want to make sure that your water is covering probably about a ½ an inch over all of your jars. You want to go ahead and put your stove on high. Now this isn't to a boil yet. So what we want to do is we want to get the jelly in the water before it starts to boil. We're only going to boil this for 5 minutes once this is at a full boil in here. So I'm going to get this processed and get it boiled. And when I start to take it out, I'll bring you back and show you our delicious jelly. Well, taking the last one out of the canner. Alright, well we got some awesome looking pepper jam here. I am so thrilled, and I'm sure my preacher cannot wait to try this stuff. He is one pepper loving guy. Alright guys, well I hope you've enjoyed this video. I will be putting all of the ingredients in the in the description box below, so if you have any questions or concerns, please send me a comment. If you haven't liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, well, you might as well just go ahead and do that too. So y'all have a blessed day. Thanks for watching.